Welcome to another episode of the Gentry Memorial Comic Book Club. I'm Alan the Unicorn. With me is
James,
Terry,
Dalian,
and we will be reviewing Dal's pick, right?
Yes.
This Dal's pick, Transmetropolitan.
Right. Welcome to the neighborhood. I believe it's the first trade.
The first trade.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So we will be reviewing that.
Wait, the first trade? Oh, you read two trades?
it was by Warren Ellis and
Derek Robertson.
Derek Robertson, and I think that he did the whole 6 issues because it was 6.
Yeah. I think he did the whole run though originally, but he did the first.
Same artist and everything.
I think so. Yeah.
I didn't go any further than what I had to read.
Wow.
same here.
Wow.
Honestly, like, in my honest opinion, like, it's not. I didn't go any further because it's not that I hated it. I didn't go any further
But
because
you hated it.
No, it's just not my thing. It's not my thing. Like, I thought it. I mean, it definitely has a place or an audience, but it's just not for me. I didn't think it was that bad. Like, I thought it was.
It started growing on me, but I could see where there's just not a lot of gonzo journalism tropes, so I could see that it would probably spin its wheels a lot.
Well, and I definitely think it was a vehicle or a platform for them to get out their political views, which is fine. You know, that's what people do in books. But I mean, like, I feel like that's all it was just like a big giant pulpit for them to sit there and preach to you.
Well, that's what I thought, and everything around the characters was made so that they had to, you know,
be a certain
it.
way or do a certain thing,
And after a while, there was just so much hate in this book. I just felt like I had to go take a bath or something. It just,
But I mean, like, I feel like after getting through all 6 issues, it definitely, I can see where it has, like I said, like, I think it definitely has an audience. I definitely think it has a fit into it. It's just not. It was not my thing.
Right.
I don't actually have really a lot of bad things to say other than just stuff that wasn't because it's my personal opinion, not because of what actually was I read or saw.
Sure.
So go ahead and grab a question.
All right.
We'll start our round robin.
How original and unique was the premise of the book? I mean, how original? I mean, it's set in the future. I mean, I would say it's probably as original as, I don't know, Murphy Brown or whatever, that kind of thing.
I think it has originality, especially for
And
a
it's
comic book.
15, 20 years old?
Right, yeah,
so
and at the time it was kind of...
time.
It's supposed to be set in a cyberpunk, sort of Blade Runner universe. And there were a few elements of cyberpunk, but as a whole, I didn't really feel it really had any...
Well, it was generic
connected to
future,
cyberpunk
and
at all.
they nailed a few things, like laptops and stuff, and they woefully failed a bunch of other things in predicting the future.
I definitely think, I think, like you said, like, it's the age of it and the actual place in comic books. There's not a lot of, like, political, quote-unquote, political standpoint books out there. So I think it was, the premise was actually pretty original.
I mean, there's no Lou Grant comic books.
I don't think
right?
the way
It's
the
a
character was
newspaper kind of
carried
thing.
out was
Daily
very...
Bugle, maybe. Sorry.
was done very well because he didn't seem original. He just seemed more like he was an adult acting like a child.
Yeah.
He didn't seem like a real reporter to me.
Well, he had a breakdown,
and he was kind of disillusioned with things.
Right.
He did have a breakdown, but he just
that's why he
throwing
was
like
off.
little temper tantrums.
Yeah. Well, and was high, like he was on drugs, so it's almost like Dazed and is it Dazed and Confused with Johnny Depp?
No,
Fear and Loathing.
Fear and
Las
Loathing,
Vegas.
yeah.
Las
That's kind of it's like a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas in comic book form. So, but I mean, I still think that was pretty original, especially like you said, like for the time being later or several years old now. So
well, and actually, when the little history on the book and the deal was that it was part of the DC's Tangent line, which was going to be sci-fi books, and they had Cyberella.
It was part of Helix, wasn't it?
Or Helix, yeah, not Tangent. Helix. I'm sorry, Helix, right.
And then they moved it over to Vertigo.
Right, because they found out that the Helix line wasn't really selling well, so they moved it to Vertigo. But, like I said, at the time you had Cyberella and you had several other books that were, Bloody Mary, I think was one of them that was coming out. and so quickly they kind of shut that imprint down and moved over to Vertigo. But yeah, it was more of a sci-fi slant line, really, anyway. So.
All right, Terry.
Did you learn anything from the series about the author, artist, or situation? No.
Warren
Really?
Ellis has issues.
I don't. Warren Ellis definitely has a viewpoint. There is a specific
Mhm.
viewpoint that he has for whatever this book was, or whatever the issue that he felt that he needed to tell. I like the last one was kind of like the one where, not the straw that broke the camel's back, but it definitely was very much I was like, yeah, this is just a huge pulpit for him. Was the religious one where he was going
Right.
through and talking about the different, and it's just like he just trashed and destroyed everybody's thoughts and views and
didn't
just
have
like,
any views, or he didn't
yeah,
like or dislike anything. He just hated everything.
right, and
Very-
everything. Well, and everything was such a extreme stereotype of their
Right.
whatever religion was. It was just almost like, well, of course nobody's going to be. I mean, like,
Now, one thing I did like though, and it's kind of, and maybe come up later, is that the story with the people that wanted to secede, you know, the little block
Yeah.
and everything, and we see that now in TV shows and everything. That these people want to do this, but something's going to happen that's going to make the authorities come in, and they're going to have a big riot and all that.
Yeah.
That I'm talking about tropes earlier. That was kind of but like I said, 20 years ago, it wasn't as bad.
yeah.
So. Anyway.
I don't disagree. But I mean, like, I think I learned some, like, I mean, just, I felt like it was definitely a pulpit for Warren Ellis to kind of get his views out, which I agree with some of them, and then I disagreed with some of them, and so it's kind of an interesting take on that. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, James.
Did you have a favorite character? His stripper assistant.
Actually, I think I liked her too.
Of course,
She was,
but realistically, she was the only other reoccurring character with any redeeming.
well, they had his
values.
editor. Which,
Yeah.
well, that's
Well, when
true.
you hated everybody, that was probably the only character you hated the least, and she really wasn't in there long enough to really develop a sense of character yet.
I disagree.
In the first six
I think-
issues, no, but she does stay.
I think she was starting to
Yeah.
develop, but I
Yes.
don't think she got developed yet.
But I think she was definitely. I mean, like, they definitely started giving her more time to where she was becoming more of a.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a voice of reason almost.
She'd stand up to him a little bit,
Yeah.
and you could tell that she was probably going to stand up to him more and more.
Well, she also followed along with, oh yeah, do you smoke? No. Well, you need to start now. And then the next thing you know, she's smoking.
But there's people like that though, who are rich, famous. Right? You don't do blow. Well, if you're gonna hang out with me, you're gonna start doing blow. Kind of
That's
thing.
true.
So-
Doing all the bad stuff, so I don't have to be
Yeah.
the only bad guy.
Right.
She's the only character I thought might have been worthwhile.
I
Hasn't
thought
carried
the alien guy that he went to go kind of help in the that little like District 9 kind of thing. I thought he was going to be kind of redemption a little bit and have.
And then he was
and then he was
helping
just
everybody.
horrible. Yeah. It's like that's. So I thought he was kind of an interesting character, but then and then they just made him like a total trash character, and I was like, oh. So I thought he would be another one.
The cat might have been the second most interesting character.
I don't
cat-
disagree with that.
the cat
I liked
was
when he
great,
sicked when he sicked the cat on the boyfriend. Like, you're trying to have sex with me.
Well, and apparently in the future there's a gecko problem.
Yes, yes, a big gecko problem.
Yeah.
All right, hand me my holiday bag. I didn't have anything else, so this is what it was. All right, so let's see. Is there anything left unresolved you would like to know the outcome of? Honestly, like I said, I don't think I continue to read it, but I would kind of like to see how Spider Jerusalem ends up at the end of his journey through the book.
Does he ever write his book?
Yeah, does he ever write his book? Does he ever like kind of find a sense of self that's not like so angry? Because that may be something that they may do later on. I don't know. If he becomes maybe more with the stripper's help, if he becomes more of a kind of even keel instead of being such a extreme character. So that's about it, but nothing really like super. I mean, honestly, I almost feel like depressing reading the book. Like you said, like I feel like I just want to.
But by the end of it, I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't want to read anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens to this character.
Well, see, that's how I felt about Uber. I had to go take a freaking shower after reading that trash. So, I mean, sorry, but that's kind of how I felt. And so.
It happens. It happens.
Well, and like I said, I read one of that. What was it? The Black Hammer, and I was like, yeah, no, that was enough for me.
Did you feel like there was anything though that you'd want to know more? I mean,
I read most of the series. I would probably eventually go back and read all of them. Finish them up.
So is there anything that you would think that you would like to at least figure out to see if they develop the stripper more? See if she becomes a better character.
I think she may be the most interesting character, but no
desire.
There's too much other stuff out there to read.
Not really.
All right, back to you, Dal. This is actually a change of pace. Normally I'm the one that's like, this is horrible, it's trash. Terry's like, no.
Are you glad you read it? I'm glad I touched on that.
Let's go to Terry for that one.
Yeah.
Like, Terry,
Well, I'm
sounds like
strangled down for that pick.
Yeah. I actually am. I mean, like, I'm glad I kind of did the 6 issues.
I'm kind of glad I reread it because there's stuff I forgot. You know, I
Yeah.
forgot that it started out with him being...
Stuff I'd like to forget.
James?
I'm glad I read it.
Like I said, I don't think I'd read the whole series, but I'm glad I at least gave it a try and at least know more about it.
I started a long time ago, and after going back and reading the issues, I was like, yeah, I can remember why I stopped.
All right, go ahead, Terry. See what next horrible question you can get. Did you like the book?
What audience would you recommend this to?
That's actually a good question.
It reminded me of people like Hunter Thompson.
Okay.
You mean like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Stuff like that,
Yeah. I would definitely think this would be a book for definitely adults for sure, but at least somebody that is more politically skewed. I definitely want to let Kenny read it. Like, he would just...
He would rage.
Oh my god. He would be so angry. But I definitely think, like, you know, somebody that has, like, I think this would be a good book for somebody that is, educated isn't the right word, but, I don't know how to describe it. Like, somebody that likes to, research things, like, you know, like, I feel like a political science major would be really interested in this.
Like political satire of an extreme
Which is
view.
really what it kind of is, of it.
Like I said, Hunter Thompson type stuff.
Yeah. But it's not a kid's book for sure. That's for sure.
Do you recommend it to angry people and make them angrier?
Yes!
Or
Facebook. This would be a good Facebook comment.
Or do you recommend it to not angry people and
Make them
wreck their day?
Well, I guess it depends on their views, because sometimes they could probably be like right on. They could probably agree with half the stuff, and then the other population. I feel like it's like the presidency today. Like, half of them agree, half of them disagree.
Yeah, I also figured, there's already enough stuff out there in the news and stuff of hate and stuff. I use comics to escape, so I want something more that I'm going to enjoy.
This was 20 years ago.
I think that's the one thing though, is like, because I'm reading it now and not 20 years ago, I think it's definitely got a lot more weight to it. It's a lot more realistic and a lot more heavy. Because I mean, if you had read this 20 years ago, I don't think half the stuff would be as relevant or as
so the outrageous stuff that will never happen of 20 years ago is the mundane today. Yeah, I
It's
feel
Facebook fodder.
I feel better now.
Idiocracy. That was what, 20 years ago? And who would have thought that what happened, that were things that had joked about in that movie are kind of
becoming true.
Coming true now, yeah.
But it has electrolytes. Electrolytes are good for you. All right, James, go
crops
for
keep
it.
dying because we feed them electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Does anybody know?
Magnets. Are they magic?
Good movie.
Did you have a least favorite character?
You go last, Jerry.
Probably is it David Christ or the leader of
the cult or the
The one that he shoots
The
with
trans
power.
aliens.
yes.
Yeah.
no, that was
no,
the
that's
president.
That's right.
Trans alien.
Yeah, the trans alien guy. Yeah.
I didn't hate Spider Jerusalem. I thought he was more of a caricature, but that guy, the religious guy that was just doing it to get laid.
Yeah.
Fred? No, that's the
Fred.
guy that he got done.
Yeah, Fred Christ.
Yeah. I'd have to read it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think he was probably one of the worst ones, and sadly, I think the cat is probably one of the worst characters too, because he is that cat's just jacked up. Like, it just makes me uncomfortable looking at him.
He's one of the best, but one of the
yeah,
worst.
exactly. It's like he's the best because
they
he's the
actually-
worst.
They actually did an action figure for
Of the
Spider
cat?
Jerusalem, and it
Oh.
came with the cat.
I would have to,
So.
because that cat is just messed up. It's just like
Oh,
that
but
is-
the cat's great though. Like,
Oh
I mean,
my
it's-
god, it's so gross. So, did you have a least favorite character?
My least favorite would be the editor.
Oh, yeah.
So, and later on, the president. So, but yeah, but of the first 6 issues, the editor. So.
Terry?
Yep. Yes.
Is that your answer, or are you just acknowledging me?
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
Yes?
I don't know. It's kind of a tie between Spider and Fred, or whatever his name
Yeah.
was.
I think Fred was more because because of the horrible things he did.
Yeah, 'cause he was just-
Spider, you just, like you said, he's just
You
so
just get
angry.
tired of him, you know?
Well, I think he was kind of like you said a character. That word.
Caricature.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But you see all the movies from the TV shows from the 70s, and even with Spider-Man with the J. Jonah Jameson,
Yeah.
with the over the top reporters, we gotta go out and get. I think he was all that, and I don't know. Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree, yeah. What's that? Okay. We need one of those, the big giant globe, we spin
Bingo.
it. Yeah, like a bingo ball. If they made a movie or TV show, who would make a good cast? Oh God.
Bruce Willis.
Would be a
Spider
good Spider
Jerusalem?
Jerusalem?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I was
I
just
could
say
see
him or Woody Harrelson.
Oh, Woody
Woody
Harrelson would be a
Harrelson.
good
I'm
one.
Yeah.
sick of Woody Harrelson, though.
I know, but he would
Well,
be
he
a
would
great Spider
would,
Jerusalem.
Probably.
Yeah. We would need something like witty and bitchy for the stripper. Like, we would need somebody really good.
Thunder could play the cat.
Thunder could definitely. Oh, God,
Hey,
poor
he was
Thunder.
nice to me. He could jump on my lap earlier, let me pet him.
It's all an act. He's a horrible cat. Worst cat.
I
ever.
don't know. Someone sassy and I don't know who. I'm drawing a blank on them for the stripper.
Only because Horrible Bosses. Did you see Horrible Bosses? But I think Jennifer Aniston would be kind of fun.
She probably
She
could.
would be, she would be kind of a fun, interesting play into that. I got to watch Bohemian Rhapsody last night, and Mike Myers I think would be a great editor. I think he would be
we'll
kind
talk
of fun.
later on that about after the show on that.
Yeah.
one.
But by the way, if you haven't got a chance to see that, it's a really good movie.
It's an awesome movie.
It's so good.
I loved it.
But I think he would be a good editor. Like, they could just make him up be just spitting and kind of just crazy roles, and I think it would just be fun.
Tom Cruise when he played
Yes.
the
Oh my God,
producer
yes, from,
on Tropic Thunder?
Yes.
That was hysterical.
Great.
He was that.
I think
over
he
the
would
top.
be a good one too.
Well,
That would
and
be
what's
fun.
the guy from Spider-Man that played J. Jonah Jameson?
Oh,
He's passed
He
away.
was in Oz.
no,
he has
J.K.
not.
Simmons.
I'm talking about. I was thinking this earlier. You were talking about the 70s.
He meant J.K. Simmons, who's also played Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
He would be good too, though. I think.
Yeah. So. Who played the Gordon in the new Batman movies? And he was also in Fifth Element. He was back in
Old Gary
Yes.
Oldman.
He would be a good Spider Jerusalem.
Yes, he would.
Gary Oldman would be good at basically any role.
It's true.
I
Put him
want,
as a stripper.
I want a one.
I would watch that.
I want a one
He
one
could-
man
he
show.
could-
Like the
Batman-
stripper, the cat,
Batman
and the
could
editor.
Batman could pull that off.
We need him to do a one person show of Julius Caesar.
There you go.
We could do it.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Is it my turn? His turn.
It's your turn.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I got the actor.
Oh, the actor. Yeah. Okay. Oh wow, this is a long one. Okay.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I know she did. Do you think this was a pretty
Mom.
straightforward story, or was there a lot of metaphor or symbolism?
Oh.
Lots of
God.
metaphor.
Dang,
Lots
that's
of
thought provoking because, like we said, yeah, there's a lot.
Not only in the actual writing, but even in the art. Like
Mhm.
if you looked at all the backgrounds and all
Yeah.
the stuff, like that issue I was talking about with the religion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that background, like there was so much.
You have
stuff
to
on there.
quit looking at the background,
Yeah.
otherwise you'll spend.
There's a
You
lot of
can't
stuff going
catch
on
it
in the
all, and
Yeah.
then you get bogged down in it.
Well, and it also kind of showed that your actions do have consequences. Like just like in real life, because when he started recording, going live, streaming, which
and affected the votes and every
right, and then the next day, you see him getting his ass beat by the police.
Yeah.
Because of what happened. So.
Yeah, but there definitely was.
There's a lot of metaphor.
Yeah, like I said, like even in the writing was just there was a lot of like double-ended kind of meanings between everything and stuff like that. I think even the one issue where he's watching TV and all the different TV
The
shows and
feeds,
stuff. Like I was just like, oh my god.
He's
like,
calling in and he talks to that one chef and she cooked it wrong and the next thing
Yeah.
she was on the ledge or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
He launched the war against the cable network TV shows. I cracked up at that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think this whole book was nothing but symbolism and metaphor.
Yeah.
I wonder about-
And then they have the info blast that makes you dream commercials
Yes.
that night. I'm like,
Look at it.
how far away is that?
Oh my god, not far.
There's a lot of things that I've seen that, going back rereading this, that I'm seeing in kind of today's stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. for
Somebody
sure.
read this and thought it was a good idea.
Like, make this happen.
Yeah. Alright. Here's a lot of questions.
Huh?
A lot of questions.
You like the questions?
Will you continue to read this series? Well, I've answered
Yeah.
that one.
It's like, next question.
Should I just pick another one?
Yeah, no.
No. If he could erase that he read the first 6 of these issues, he would.
I mean, like, and I said it before. I would not read them just because it's just not my thing. Not because it's not an interesting subject. It's just not my subject that I would be
Right.
carry on. So, what about you, James?
I put it in my end of the world. If there
When
was
you retire.
if there was no more graphic novels to read, would you go back and finish this one off, or was it like, nope, burn it? I would go back, but other than that, there's just way too much other stuff to read, and like I said, I don't think that there's that much left for him to dig into, but I could be wrong.
I'm definitely sure they'd be reaching after a while, or they would just start recycling stuff. So. All right, James.
I would probably maybe eventually finish, go back and reread them. But,
Yeah, because this is your second time reading this one.
well, yeah. I mean, I think I stopped. I think it went 60 issues. I think 60. I'm not sure. I think I only got to like 20 or something like that. So.
Do you think the title fit the book well? If so, why? If not, why? I think it did.
Mhm.
A little. I think it was almost too much on the nose. It was almost, it kind of spilled everything. But it's hard. You don't see that until you actually start reading the book, and then once you get through the couple issues, it definitely you're like, oh yeah, that title's perfect. Like describes everything about the book. Even the book's lettering, like the way that it's done, is very much in
Futuristic kind of font.
well, just like in that kind of gritty kind of. It's kind of got a gritty connotation or feel to it. But yeah, it's just I thought they did really good. It was a really good title.
Yeah.
All right.
Is this the last one? We
Well,
usually do 3.
I'm gonna do one more, and then we'll decide, because I think we've only been doing it for about 30 minutes. So, would you read other comics by the writer? Why or why not? I have actually read other stuff from Warren Ellis, and I feel like I liked it a lot better just because it was more my thing.
Which is what was it Planetary?
Planetary.
I love Planetary.
Authority.
Yeah, Authority
I
was
loved
really good.
Stormwatch when it led up into Authority.
Yeah.
I started liking Authority. It kind of went downhill, but the beginning of Authority was awesome.
Yes. Well, I like that whole Frank Quitely and Warren Ellis team was just like, yeah, they were just on it. Well, like I feel like you said, like even the lead up to it, and then it was just that whole thing was really good.
Once they started introducing Jack Hawksmoor and Jenny Sparks, and
yes, yeah. So I have read other stuff, so I would but I don't think I would seek out something that I'd be like, oh, Warren Ellis, that's something that but I definitely would it would be more beneficial to me.
The Warren Ellis war stories, I'm kind of wanting to read that someday.
At the end of the world.
After that.
6 years.
After that,
6 years of comic book.
Yeah.
Back issues.
Once they figure out how to beam it straight into your head so you don't have to spend the time to read it, but you can say, oh, I read that.
That's next week when they implant it.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you read stuff?
Sir, what are you doing?
I'm looking up something.
Seeing what
And why?
What else
What
is
about you?
written?
Dal, would you read other stuff?
Yes, I have read other stuff. In fact, I went back and read his Hellstorm from the 90s.
Oh, I don't think I read that.
Yeah, and so because I picked it up and everything, and it's changed artists or something happened with it, and I stopped it, and so I went back and just read it all, and it was really good. So
Damien.
I was looking up a book that I'd read and really, really enjoyed, and I thought it was Warren Ellis, but I couldn't remember for sure.
Global
was
Frequency,
Global
yeah,
Frequency.
Was it him?
Yes.
What is that one? I don't think I know that one.
Global Frequency?
Yeah, I don't think I read.
Yeah, they also did a pilot on it as well that never got aired, and the pilot was really good too because it got leaked out. So
I'll have to check that out.
definitely worth reading.
What's the premise?
It's been so long since I've read it, so let me see. It was
it's a group of people that all worked for this. They worked for him, but they didn't work for him. For the Global Frequency.
Yeah.
right.
And it's like if they had something happen, it's like they would pick people in the area, and you're on the Global Frequency, go, and take care, like a
to
plane
try
crash.
to stop
yeah.
stuff from happening and stuff like that.
Huh.
It was really good, and like I wish that pilot would have aired because the pilot was really good. I've downloaded it somewhere. But,
Well, we got
and
time.
it's only like a 12-issue series, so it's not too terribly long.
I may have to check it out.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
We have
I'll
time
put
for
that
one
on
more
my
round.
things
I
to
know.
do list.
Yeah.
Before the end of the world.
We've got time for one more round, and
Alright.
then we'll pick our next book.
Whose pick is your next book?
It's mine. You're gonna hate it.
Wait, who picked? Let's see, James picked Uber. Who picked Black
No,
Hammer?
I picked
he picked
Uber.
You
Uber.
picked Uber.
I put Black Hammer.
I picked Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
We're on a roll.
I know.
Well, there's just not that many books that none of us have read.
Oh, Lord. Yes. Is there a character that you would like to meet in real life?
Oh. Huh.
The stripper.
I actually think it'd be fun to meet Spider Jerusalem, yeah.
I would disagree with that. I think Spider Jerusalem or the cat. The cat would be fun to.
I would like to meet Spider Jerusalem if he was like behind
meds.
bars and couldn't affect me.
Anybody?
If I met Spider, I would probably just ask him, where can I get a hold of that gun?
Yeah, the prolapse. Yeah, like.
Liquid.
Shot
Yeah,
the president. That was great.
That was probably the most humorous thing I thought in the book. I mean, that actually had more of a slapsticky humor and wasn't satirical.
So this is one thing that with the, it's not going to be a question in there, but I think would be kind of fun to ask is, what was there like? There was a lot of like futuristic funny stuff, like little things, like the gun and the shoes. Was there something that you think that you would like to have, like you think would be fun to kind of own as like if you could have like glasses like his, or you know,
The glasses.
Are pretty cool.
Yeah, the glasses are pretty cool, but I think I'd like to have the shoes where you could walk on water. I thought that was kind of like sit on the ceiling and.
But the glasses where you could record.
Which we have that now, in a way.
Well, they're not quite that.
But
The military has those.
But
right
you, where you don't have to pull your phone out.
Right.
You just, you could go back through your. Okay, I want to save this minute of.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought Terry, anything that you.
With the gun.
The gun.
I liked when he pulled the gun.
Although Dow wouldn't need that gun.
I like when he pulled the gun on the girl, and he's like, "Do you know what this is?" And she's like, "Yeah, I built one myself." And he's like, "I'm gonna like you."
That's just jacked up.
Yeah.
Do I do it all the time?
I know. I'm sorry.
Did it use the brown note?
Have you read other comics by this author? I answered that one already.
Yeah. New question. New question.
No, pull a new question.
Did the characters seem believable to you? Did they remind you of anyone? Well, Spider Jerusalem kind of reminds me of Mike on Wednesday.
I was gonna say that he rides with Kenny. It's so angry. Got the angry eyes. So like Mr. Potato Head. Well, put on my angry eyes.
Some of the news anchors are getting there.
I definitely feel like I think that's one of the things that reading the book now is like it's almost like I could see I could see half of Facebook fitting, like a Facebook feed fitting into some of these characters.
Yeah.
Just the animosity and the viewpoints and the pulpits that they want to stand on to be able to like tell their opinion, even though it's just an opinion, it's not facts. And so I think I think
a good real life person that sums up Spider Jerusalem is, and he's no longer living, unfortunately, it's Morton Downey Jr. When he had a talk show, I mean, he got pretty livid and animated and stuff.
You know, it reminds me a lot of now the name escapes me, but he's a big NPR guy that's like always on everybody's nerve. He's always saying this horrible stuff.
Bill Maher.
No, close. He's in the. Oh, what is his name?
Ira Glass?
No, I'm out. No, I leaked out. You may have seen it fall out in the video. We'll have to look.
Cartech Fred?
No. We're just gonna start naming random people.
Yeah. Oh, Cartech Fred.
Big Bird?
Big Bird, yeah. that
Grover when he dropped
douche's
the F-bomb?
That was hysterical. He dropped the F-bomb. He did sound like he
He
said it.
did.
Somebody was talking. It says it's Big Bird, not Biggest Bird. That implies that there's a bigger bird running around Sesame Street somewhere. What did you like best about this comic? It's over. No,
I have to say the art. I like the art a lot because of the fact that they did pack so much stuff in there, and it really was interesting to look. If you just look at the background and see all the symbolism, metaphors, was just kind of it was
tiring after a while.
I don't like that super busy art because I want to read every little thing.
What's funny though is he goes from doing this, and I think a year or two later he goes and does Boys. Derek Robinson did. And so, yeah, it's the same art style, but the art's not as in detail and stuff and in your face as much as it.
But that was
like
that's one thing I liked.
Frank Darrow, his art is this.
Yeah.
Well, I think
turned up to 11.
The reason there was so much stuff was part of the field of trying to make it a cyberpunk feel. So.
Yeah.
But that was one thing I liked.
Yeah. I did too. Is
there anything that you liked, Terry? Anything?
It's over.
The colors, maybe?
The colors was great.
I will enjoy it much more as time goes by and I forget it.
All right. I mean, it's no Uber, but.
Oh no, it was.
What did you think of the pacing of the issues you read? They actually, I think each issue they kind of dealt with one kind of subject, which I think was actually pretty good for what they were doing. I feel like if they added more stuff into each issue, it almost would be unreadable.
I thought it got a little frantic when he started dressing up as a Jesus type figure, and it just kind of stepped off into another. Yeah,
the pacing of the first issue was too fast. They were
setting everything up really quick.
They were releasing like the maker and block thing. I was like, am I supposed to know what that is? And then like 3 pages later they tell you, and later ones the pacing slowed down a little bit, and I was able to feel like I understood what was going on.
It was like it sped up to get him there, and then once he got there it slowed down, and then he goes into this Jesus thing and it gets crazy again, and so it had a lot of ups and downs.
Thing?
Yeah, where he dresses up as Jesus, and didn't you read it?
I read it, yeah.
That was the last
There's
issue.
stuff and then things and then
he had the beard
people.
that talked. The beard that talked, like the beard was talking to. It's kind of weird too.
Yeah, it was.
All right, well, I guess we know some of these people I don't have to ask, but what would you rate the book from a 1 to 5?
Let's know what you thought of Transmetropolitan. Did you love it?
I'd say a solid 3.
You'd say a 3? Terry?
Magenta.
Would you give it a 1 or 0?
What's our scale?
You just said 1 to 5. Weren't you listening?
I'd give it a black.
Yeah, it's like a purple.
2 at the most.
Okay.
That's only because the art was, like you said, was kind of interesting, but yeah.
2, 2.5.
I would say a 2 out of 5 for me, but I feel like if somebody had the right audience, you would probably like this a lot. Just not for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I get to pick my book now.
Yay!
So I'm gonna do Wayward by Image, and we'll do the first trade paperback for now. I haven't ever read it, so I'm hoping. Have you read it?
Yes.
Yeah. You read it, like all of it, or just like?
Well, yeah, I've got all so far. Yeah.
You have? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, unfortunately.
Which is fine because I'd like to go back and reread them.
So. Well, you're gonna have to.
That's fine.
Or at least be able to enjoy the conversation. Anybody else read it?
I've been collecting them, but I haven't read too many of them. I think first 3 issues, maybe.
I haven't read anything, so maybe if we can maybe read the first 2, we'll see. But let's do the first trade for now, and then if we bump it up, we can bump it up. But it's by Jim Zub, and it's by Steve Cummings as the art.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of. It looks really interesting. I'm super excited. it looks way
It's
less heavy than some of the crap we've been reading. So I'm
let's
like,
get some light
I
stuff.
just I was like, I'm hoping
But
it's
we've
just,
got what? We've got
I'm hoping some
Black
superhero
Hammer,
like
Ex Machina,
magic girl
Uber.
superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Hammer, Ex
We're kinda
Machina,
good.
yeah, all of it was
Heavy, yeah.
pretty. So
Yeah, it seems like each book has been getting worse and worse, just dragging us down
well, I think
till the point we had to transmit. And
the sad part
That
is
was
like
really-
you guys came in. Unfortunately, you guys came in later when me and Jenny actually had some really good books. We got Lock and Key were really good.
Lock and Key was
Lumberjanes was really good. So we've done some really good ones that we've really liked, but I don't know. But I think that's the joy of that's the reason we wanted to start this is because we wanted to expose not only ourselves but anybody else that wanted to join us to be able to read different stuff and see what because you never know.
I would also like to maybe pick something eventually that we probably all have read, but it's been years ago. Like Camelot 3000, I haven't read it forever, but I'd like to go back and reread it because I remember loving it.
Well, I think we'll eventually have to.
so
I don't think
pick that.
I've never read it, so I mean, like, there's always going to be
There's
something.
not that many books
Yeah.
that
You've read
None of
comics
us
none
have.
of us have
20,
read.
30 years, and you've never read Camelot 3000.
No, because it was out what, 90s?
Ooh,
80s.
Late
80s.
80s.
Yeah,
late
so I
80s.
was still
It was
young.
the first
It was
thing on
the-
Baxter paper.
Well,
So-
it was also the first maxi series that GC did.
I was really young, so I didn't have a lot of
Okay.
income.
Yeah.
So, like, I was very limited to what I was able to get my access to anyways.
Trade's been out for 30 years.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's also been 30 years worth of comic books to get into.
I know.
Because I remember
That's
picking
okay.
up
That's okay. I haven't
a
read the whole thing either.
comic book.
But you haven't?
It was like a comic book encyclopedia, and they were showing different art pages.
Yeah.
And there
I've
was
seen
this,
the art 1,000
and there
times,
was
yeah.
this gorgeous art page, and I never knew what book it was from. And then years later, I read Camelot 3000. It was from that. So
Well, at least we know you're.
it was back, at least when I was. I think I checked it out from the library, and I haven't.
Returned it yet?
I haven't done a lot of library
looking for it now.
since back when I was in high
5 cents
school.
a day.
Well, so
Compounded by...
we'll do Wayward to have a little bit of a light note, hopefully, and a little bit more of a fun read. Fingers crossed. So if you'd like to join us, we would love to have you.
That's why we don't get any more people
More
signing up.
subscribers because we keep getting shitty books.
Oh.
Like, they're reading that, God. Maybe we'll get 2 more with this book. We don't know. So if you'd like, please join us. We're trying to do one every month. So we'll set the next date and see when to review this book. And I think the next pick will be James.
Yeah.
And that'll be, what, for February? So this is January's.
February, yeah.
So...
This will be,
Well,
your
this,
pick will be for
your,
February.
yeah,
Your
your pick will be
February.
February.
My pick's February.
Right,
Okay.
his
there
is
you go.
March.
And we were also told to click on the bell,
Yeah, what?
subscribe,
Yeah.
like the
share,
page.
subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications. That's what it was. My little niece told me, 9-year-old. Make sure she tell them to turn on the bell notifications.
She's your partner in another video, right?
Right, she was in my
Yes.
video before.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I also want to plug Terry and Dal's podcast.
Kenny.
They do
And Kenny,
They
Comic
do,
Book
but obviously
Straight Talk.
Kenny's not
Comic
here.
Straight Talk.
Comic Straight Talk. They put theirs out on.
Yeah, but we do it about every 2 weeks. Our next episode will be up next Monday.
And then me and James will be in the next Unicorn show next week, reviewing next week's books. So please, if you get a chance, we would love to have more conversation and more people. If you get,
We should do a live stream sometime, on YouTube.
yeah, I think that would be
A
fun.
live stream, on Facebook.
No, on YouTube.
Can you live stream YouTube?
You can live stream on
Oh,
YouTube.
okay.
Is it going to be the same thing with my camera, like that I gave you 2 months ago?
No, we probably have to set up the laptop to do it, and it'll come across, and we may actually be able to connect it up to the TV, and we could see all the people,
So we'll figure
if
it
we
out.
actually get people.
Yeah.
Ask
we'll
If
figure it
anybody's
out.
watching live, they could ask questions live,
Right.
and
Right.
we could respond to them.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll have to figure something out. Maybe we can do it next time. or
and
the
then
time
we'll
after that.
see how few people want to watch our thing live.
Yeah, how one questions we get, so I'll tell all our moms to log in. Mom, send me questions!
Everyone make their dummy account.
Yeah.
Hang
Play
on.
the same song! Like,
I'll just call you. Can you play some free
Why are you guys so awesome?
you guys are the coolest!
You rock.
So until then, until we figure out what the hell we're doing next time, enjoy Wayward, and we hope you read Transmetropolitan and let us know your opinion or your lack thereof.
Hate
We'd love to hear it
mail.
all.
It was his
Hated our opinions.
We'll give you Terry's address to send on the mail to.
There you go.
Give it a doubt. It was his pick.
No, he said Terry.
It was Dal's pick, but Terry, I just love that you hate it so much. It's
Yeah.
funny.
So you hated it like I hated Uber, so see?
So until then, we hope your pull list is full. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.